This Liverpool attack is terrifying. Not good, not promising, terrifying. Because this summer, Liverpool pulled off one of the biggest transfers in Europe. Alexander Isak has arrived at Anfield. The Swedish striker didn't just leave Newcastle, he joined a Liverpool side that had to say goodbye to Luis Diaz, who moved to Bayern Munich, and Darwin Núñez, who made a blockbuster move to Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia. Losing two attackers of that caliber could have hurt, but instead, Liverpool responded with a striker who completely changes the picture. Liverpool's title charge just got even louder. At Anfield, in front of a packed crowd, Liverpool edged Arsenal with a dramatic 1-0 victory. The difference? A stunning 83rd minute free kick from Dominik Szoboszlai, a moment of pure class that sent the Kop into chaos. That win keeps Liverpool's perfect start alive. 3 games, 3 wins, 9 points. Arsenal, despite their strength, sit just behind on 6 points. A small gap, but an important one, because it means Liverpool are top of the Premier League table. This isn't just about one match, it's about momentum. Slot's men are showing resilience, quality, and the hunger of a team that wants to bring the league title back to Anfield. And if they keep grinding out results like this, the treble dream doesn't sound so crazy after all. For the first time in years, Mohamed Salah finally has a true world-class forward next to him. And with players like Federico Chiesa and Florian Wirtz around, this attack feels like it's on a whole different level. Every time they go forward, it feels like something explosive is about to happen. But how good is this attack? And can they actually win the treble this season? Well, let's talk about that. Liverpool had one major problem last season in attack. They were too dependent on one man, Mohamed Salah. Every time things got shaky, he was the go-to guy. And most times, he delivered. 29 goals and 18 assists are ridiculous. But the issue is, what happens when Salah doesn't have space? What happens when he gets marked out of a game? You saw what happened against PSG in the Champions League. They locked him down, double-teamed him, cut off his passing lanes, and Liverpool couldn't breathe. They had no one else who could drag the team out of that. And that's not a knock on Salah. He's been world-class for years. But the truth is, no elite team should be that reliant on just one man in attack. That's what Arne Slot saw. He knew if Liverpool were going to dominate in Europe, and not just the league, they needed more firepower, more threats, more unpredictability. So this summer, he didn't just sit back. He got to work, starting from the right wing. But the biggest headline wasn't on the wing. It was through the middle, because Liverpool went out and signed Alexander Isak, a striker who completely changes the picture. Before we get into that, could you do us a massive favor by smashing them like and subscribe buttons? Now back to the video. When you think of Liverpool's right wing, you think of one name, Mohamed Salah. And for good reason. Since he came into the league, he's been one of the best in the world, over 300 appearances, and he's already crossed 260 goal contributions. That's not normal, that's elite. But what made last season different was how much he evolved. We already knew he was clinical, but last season he became more unpredictable. His finishing wasn't just about cutting inside and shooting anymore. He was scoring from tighter angles, from link-ups, from direct runs into the box. His movement got smarter, his decision-making sharper. You could tell he was adapting his game, not slowing down. And now, Arne Slot is giving him something he hasn't had in years, real support on that right flank. Because for a long time, Salah was doing everything on his own over there, especially last season, when Trent Alexander-Arnold was pushing into midfield. That often left Salah isolated in 1v2 situations every other week, and still, he delivered. But this season, that changes. Jeremy Frimpong is now in the picture, and that's massive. Frimpong is not a conservative fullback. He's rapid, he's direct, he thrives in the final third. And most importantly, he stretches the pitch. That means Salah is going to find himself in way more 1v1 situations, which is exactly where you don't want to face him. Because if Salah's got space and only one man to beat, it's almost impossible to stop him. This also opens up more passing lanes, more combination play, and more freedom for Salah to move inside without worrying about covering the entire width. Frimpong keeps defenders busy. He pulls out fullbacks, drags midfielders wide, and allows Salah to do what he does best: attack the space and finish. Arne Slot's system is designed to keep the right side alive and dangerous for the full 90 minutes. And even when Salah isn't on the pitch, it's covered. You've got Connor Bradley, who gives a bit more balance defensively, but can still push forward. And if Slot wants to shake things up, there's Federico Chiesa, who can come in and change the game with his energy and pace if he remains at the club. Harvey Elliott, who was often seen as Salah's understudy, is no longer here. He's moved on to Aston Villa. Luis Diaz is now at Bayern Munich, and Darwin Núñez has joined Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia. On paper, that's a lot of firepower leaving Anfield. But the arrival of Alexander Isak makes it feel like Liverpool's attack hasn't lost a step. It's evolved into something even scarier. This is no longer a one-man show on the right wing. It's a complete setup now. Salah finally has the tools around him, and that's bad news for everyone else. Now, the right side looks sorted. But what about the centre, that number 10 role? And this is where things shift for Liverpool. Because Arne Slot knew that if he was going to take this attack to the next level, he needed more than just wide threats. He needed someone right at the heart of everything. Someone who doesn't just connect the play, but also finishes moves. And that's where Florian Wirtz comes in. Let's not pretend last season's midfield didn't have quality. Szoboszlai was used in that central attacking role, and to be fair to him, he was solid. He pressed well, covered ground, and worked hard off the ball. But there was a missing piece. As a number 10, you can't just be functional, you need to be decisive. And what Szoboszlai didn't bring enough of was goals. He contributed to the build-up, but he wasn't turning chances into goals on a regular basis. And that's why Wirtz is such a game changer. What makes Wirtz so special isn't just that he's creative, it's that he delivers the end product. At Leverkusen, under Xabi Alonso, he wasn't just dictating play, he was destroying defenses. Last season, he put up 15 assists, but the bigger deal is the 16 goals, with 13 of them coming from that number 10 position. That's a real attacking midfielder. That's someone who plays like a forward when it matters. Wirtz has this ability to glide into space. He reads the gaps between midfield and defense perfectly. And he's not just hanging around the edge of the box waiting for a pass, he's making runs into it, getting into scoring positions and finishing with real confidence. That's the kind of instinct Liverpool's midfield lacked. But there's more. He links play at pace, one-touch passing, combinations with the wingers and striker, and a real feel for where the next pass needs to go. That's going to unlock a lot of doors, especially with guys like Salah, Gakpo and Frimpong around him. Plus, imagine this. You've got Frimpong overlapping, Salah cutting inside, Wirtz arriving in the box, and Alexander Isak up top, a striker who scored 21 Premier League goals last season. That's movement, that's fluidity, that's a nightmare for any backline. Slot wants goals coming from every direction, and now he's got a number 10 who can deliver them without sacrificing creativity. It's a massive upgrade. And it also gives Liverpool a chance to rotate Szoboszlai into other roles or push him into wider attacking spaces where his energy and power can still make a difference. The midfield is no longer just a support system, it's an attacking weapon now. And that's exactly what Slot needed to take the pressure off Salah and give Liverpool a more balanced front line. Quickly guys, if you are enjoying this video, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Now let's switch to the left wing, because that's another area where Liverpool is going through a big transition. You would have expected Luis Diaz to lock that position down this season, but with his move to Bayern Munich, that left flank is open, and honestly, that might be the best thing that could have happened for Cody Gakpo. Last season, Gakpo demonstrated exactly why Liverpool pursued him. The numbers don't lie. 18 goals, 7 assists, and he did that in just 2,626 minutes. That's a goal involvement roughly every 100 minutes. But it's not just the stats, it's how he plays. Gakpo's got that natural smoothness on the ball. He's composed, he doesn't panic under pressure, and he knows how to carry the ball into dangerous areas. But what makes him really valuable is his versatility. He can drop into half spaces, link with the midfield, play quick 1-2s with Wirtz or Salah, and he can also run in behind when needed. He's intelligent in how he positions himself. He doesn't rely on pace, he relies on timing and reading the game. Now, with the left wing fully handed over to him, we might finally see a fully unleashed Gakpo. Slot trusts him, that's clear. He's not just a rotation player anymore, he's a starter. And being given that responsibility could unlock a more aggressive version of him. One who takes on players more, who gets into the box more often, and who adds even more goals to his game. But Gakpo won't be alone on that left-hand side. There's Rio Ngumoha, and people need to start paying attention to him. He might be young, but you can already see the confidence and control he brings. Look at the pre-season game against AC Milan. He didn't just play well, he showed he belonged. Strong on the ball, quick feet, great awareness of space, and not afraid to take on defenders. He's direct, but not reckless. If Liverpool chooses to invest heavily in other areas, like the striker department, then Ngumoha should absolutely be allowed to grow into that left-wing role when Gakpo needs a rest. He's not just backup, he's a player with the potential to become a real asset for the club. So yeah, the left wing may have lost Luis Diaz to Bayern Munich, but it hasn't gotten weaker, it's gotten clearer. Gakpo now knows it's his zone to dominate, and with Ngumoha learning behind him, Liverpool is covered there. They have variety, intelligence, and most importantly, goals coming from that side too. Now, let's get into the part of the pitch that let Liverpool down the most last season, the striker position. It's the area that stopped them from being a complete team. With Diogo Jota sadly no longer with us, Liverpool lost a finisher who could be relied upon in big moments. And Darwin Núñez, well, he's now at Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia, which means the club had to completely reshape their number 9 role. Arne Slot knew that if he was going to take this team to the next level, especially in the Champions League, he needed a different kind of forward. Someone who could finish chances, link up well, and adapt to the movement of players like Salah, Wirtz, and Gakpo. So the first name he brought in was Hugo Ekitike, and that's a serious statement of intent. Ekitike isn't just another young striker. Last season at Frankfurt, he showed real maturity in his game. Scoring 22 goals and providing 12 assists is no small feat, especially in a team that wasn't as dominant as Liverpool. What stands out about Ekitike is his intelligence on the pitch. He knows how to time his runs, when to drop deep, when to pull wide, and when to stay central. That versatility is something Slot values a lot, because Ekitike isn't one-dimensional. He's not just waiting in the box for a cross. He can contribute to the build-up, link play with the midfielders, and even create chances for others. Physically, he gives Liverpool something they didn't have before. He's tall, strong, and fast enough to run in behind. So now, if Liverpool are under pressure and need an outlet, they can play direct. They can ping balls over the top and trust Ekitike to hold it up, win fouls, or bring in players like Salah and Wirtz with his back to goal. He's also got a strong pressing engine, which means he fits right into the high-intensity system Slot is trying to build. And on top of all that, he's still young. With the right coaching and structure, he could explode this season. But that's not the only move Liverpool is looking at. They're also deep in negotiations for Alexander Isak, and if that deal goes through, it completely transforms the attack. Isak is not just a striker, he's a complete offensive weapon. Last season at Newcastle, he scored 27 goals and added 6 assists, and those weren't just tap-ins. A lot of those goals came from moments where he picked up the ball, beat defenders, and finished with precision. He can play with his back to goal, but he's even more dangerous when facing defenders. His dribbling is smooth, controlled, and efficient. He can glide past players in tight spaces and still keep composure in front of the goal. That type of striker is rare. Liverpool haven't had a forward like that since the days of peak Luis Suarez, someone who combines technical ability, creativity, and goal scoring. And what makes Isak even more valuable is how well he can connect with the rest of the front line. He's the kind of player who could link perfectly with Florian Wirtz in the middle, feed Gakpo on the left, and still make those diagonal runs that pull defenders out of shape. With Isak, Liverpool would finally have a number 9 who can unlock low blocks on his own, something they've badly missed in recent seasons. Arne Slot will now have real options. He can start Ekitike against certain teams, use Isak in tighter games, or even play both in a 2-striker system if needed. That kind of flexibility changes everything. And it's exactly what Liverpool lacked last season when they were scrambling for attacking solutions. So now, with a proper finisher in Ekitike, a creative threat in Isak potentially on the way, and a system designed to feed the striker from all angles, Liverpool's biggest problem from last season might finally be solved. And with that fix in place, it's time to look at the bigger picture, because when you put all of these attacking pieces together, what you have is not just a good front line, it's one of the most dangerous in Europe.